Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm the Happy Leopard. Alright, first we're going to start with a clean palette. Put all your foundation on. It could be a little whiter because of film, and they didn't have good like f-stops and apertures and all that in some of the cameras in the early days of the Silent. So they kind of did overly white. The darks were darker, the whites were white, because otherwise they were totally washed out without any makeup, so everything, or just basic makeup. So you had to accentuate the darkers and the lights because everything was black and white. Okay, we're starting with a clean palette. Although Max Factor did invent pancake makeup for everyday use, there was also liquid makeups like grease paint that could be used. Mostly it was like grease paint in a tube, and that was used from theater and crossed over into Hollywood. And I'm going to use grease paint, black grease paint, for my eyeliner because I still believe in Hollywood they were still using that. I like to start with the eyes first. Now I have my eyeliner on. I believe this is probably the start of the smoky eye, considering everything was heavy and then blended out, even up to the eyebrow. I'm going to use dark browns for my lid and blend upwards towards my eyebrow. I know it looks like a mess right now, but it's all part of the blending. Go up to your brow bone, blending from the corners and up to the brow bone. At this point, I'm going to do my eyebrows. And the eyebrows were downward. They were up and downward, kind of almost like a sad expression, because, like, oh, Rudy, Valentino, oh. They were always in distress and over-accentuating because it was more of a pantomime they're acting. They didn't talk, so they expressed everything like a pantomime. So I'm going to start my eyebrow here and then bring it down. And it was pretty much one brow width. One thin brush width. Now, if you take a lighter brownish color, you can do under the brow. Don't want it too dark. The dark is going to be more in the crease. My eyebrows kind of look like Uncle Leo from Seinfeld, if you remember the episode where he burned off his eyebrows and Elaine painted them on with magic marker. Hysterical. Always been one to blend with my finger. I just think everything blends better with the finger. Oops, I just oh dear. If you make any mistakes, which I don't like this one part of my eyebrow, just get your foundation and cover it. Okay. Now also with that medium brown color, I'm just going to do a little smokiness under the eye. Because in the pictures I have, you could see Clara Bow has it all around her eye. There's part of my eyebrow. And blend it. This is where I believe the smoky eye came from. I mean, totally. Okay. Tell you a little secret that people don't talk about, which I know is to be true, because when I was in school many moons ago, and they talked about makeup that the flappers used. Well, I'm sorry, not flappers, the Hollywood used. Did you ever notice they have like tarantula eyes? Like, wow, their mascara was really thick. It wasn't just because they used that wet compacted mascara. They put on the mascara, which was wet mixed with a little like bottle brush. rub the water and the bottle brush on in the compact and then apply it. Well, they did do that first, but then here's the little known secret. And people will say, I never heard of that. That's because it was a little known secret. They would take powder and actually apply it on there so it would stick and make the brushes thick. I'm sorry, make the eyelash thicker. Then another coat, and they kept building it up like that. And that's why it looks like they have clumpy tarantula eyes. Although I believe in the early 20s W.D. Griffith did use false eyelashes on one of his characters in Intolerance, they weren't into big use yet in Hollywood or the American mainstream. So this was pretty much how they achieved the thicker eyelashes, by putting powder. Because if you use the cosmetics they've reproduced them now, but if you use that, you'll never get that thickness that they had. I'm trying. There was also a technique of using wax and pigment that was melted, and it was called beading, to create those tarantula eyes. And blush itself was pretty much in a circle. Wasn't up the cheekbones like we do today. It was a round little puff. Blush at that time came in a cream and could be used for the lips, hence the name lip rouge. I've heard some people say that they didn't use the blush. I would think they did use the blush. Well, definitely in everyday life they use the blush. They also, here's another fact which you don't hear very much about. When they wore their dresses, yes, they were to the knees, but when they danced or sat down, their dresses came up over their knees. There was a fad where they rolled down their stockings just below their knees, and they patted their knees with blush. They called it rouging their knees. It was a fad. Don't ask me why, but it was a fad. I think it was because they were exposing their legs after that Victorian era and Edwardian era, and they were just showing off. They were wild. They were rebel. They were crazy. The roaring 20s. Okay, now we're going to do the big powder. The big powder. Now, they would use a baby brush, like those baby brushes you see for combing a baby's hair, for spreading their powder. I'm just using regular powder brush. And then we'll go for the lips. Okay, I'm going to show you the two lips that were popular in the 20s. first, they're intertwined. It's called the bee stung. The bee stung lips were here, here, and here. So you're constantly looking pouty, like boop 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 doo. You can see Clara Bow's early lips were bee stung lips. Then that developed into the Cupid's bow. Sometimes the bee stung is called the Cupid's bow, but a true Cupid's bow looks like a Cupid's bow, as in this example. A Cupid's bow. Comes up a little at the edge. Now we'll have the Hollywood reveal. And why did they look so great? Because they had gauze on the lens, and a soft focus gave them that glow. Gauze.